Welcome back to the channel. Another week in the books, and unfortunately, it is not a victory formation Monday. But I am joined by my partner in crime as usual, Granddad, and I'm joined by a good friend of ours. I'm going to be a usual, more of a regular to the channel going forward.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah,
June off the
yeah.
top sports. Glad to have you back. You're always welcome. What's going on?
Thank you. It's always great, man, to join y'all on here to talk some Giants talk, man. Always great.
Uh, always a pleasure. Always love to have you on.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to have a different person, different, opinions and everything. So, unfortunately, it was a tough loss. 27-24 defeat against the Vikings in Minnesota. To be honest, I would love to have a rematch with them in a week or two.
Oh, I
I
would.
would love it.
Me too. They they
Like,
they do not play.
especially especially with a couple reinforcements.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. And I just saw that Adoree might be back this week.
Oh, that's
That'll be
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
that'll be
That's
huge. I
beautiful.
saw. Yeah, Dave's came out today, and it's only Monday. And Dave's came out and he said he's working through it, and there's a solid chance that he comes back to this week. So if Adoree, I know McKinney for some reason, not for some reason, but I know McKinney is still looking for a long shot. But if we can get at least Adoree back for the Colts, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
I know they're already down JT. Um, I know they've benched Matt Ryan for Nick Foles.
yeah. We gotta see how they do tonight. They do play.
Yeah,
So
that'd be very interesting. They're gonna come off of a short week to have that Monday and turn around to a Sunday.
mm-hmm.
That would be nice. Hopefully we can catch them off and not ill prepared, but a little less than prepared than usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know like they got a couple weapons. They got Molly Cox, they got Jelani Woods, who are pretty much carbon copies of each other, but both are 6'8", 6'6", 6'7", athletic as hell tight ends that are damn near like power forwards in the NBA. Just
Mm-hmm.
box you out and go up and grab the ball out the air.
Yeah.
They got some size still, and they got Michael Pittman on the one side and Alec Pierce on the other side. So it'll be interesting to see how we match up. We have smaller defensive backs and everything against their
Mm-hmm.
taller receivers. So that'll be interesting. But my hope is that we can get after them. But we'll get to that. To get
Yeah.
to this past game on Christmas Eve on Saturday, it was a great game. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great game for us. For multiple reasons. We sat here and to me, and I'm pretty sure you guys can probably agree to this. This is a game that we probably should have won when it all comes down to it. Like we probably should have won this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will open the floor to you guys. I know real quick, my three guys that I will give kudos to, all on the offensive side of the ball this week are DJ, Saquon, and Hodgins. DJ, outside of DJ's one interception, I think DJ had a great game. He threw for 332 yards passing, which I believe is one of his highest of the season so far. He's got over 3,000 yards passing. I believe he has about 300 to 400 yards rushing as well. He made good decisions with the ball, except for that one untimely pick, which sucked. Saquon had
Great play.
84 yards rushing. Hmm?
Great play by Patrick Peterson, though.
Oh yeah.
Good play by Patrick Peterson.
Oh yeah. He was baiting him the entire game,
Hated him.
and he was just waiting. And then Hodgins was making great play after great play.
Yeah.
And for one, Hodgins' route wasn't the greatest because he
What?
didn't square it off. He rounded it off,
Yeah.
which gave Peterson a chance to get into his back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And two, DJ threw the ball at his numbers instead of putting it out in front of him.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
And then my third, like I said, Saquon will be my second. Saquon was out there killing it. Saquon, he was running the ball. The line looked good run blocking. Like the pass blocking is still a little shoddy. They got after us about 2 or 3 sacks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But the run blocking looked solid. Saquon was hitting 4 to 5 yard gains almost every first, second down. And he ripped that 26-yard touchdown run. I believe it was 26-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter on a 4th and 2 to even the game up.
Yeah.
Well, no, to go down by 2. And then Bellinger got the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Another gutty play by Daniel Jones because he was rolling out on that play. Get shot and find Bellinger. Because
Oh yeah.
The other two options on that rollout was covered.
Oh
Then
yeah.
Ballinger in the back in the end zone, which was a great play, man. Like, when we made that two-way conversion, I'm like, yo, all right, the game's high. We gonna pull this off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was at the bar watching the game. I'm like yelling. That's why my voice is like this a little bit. I'm just getting my voice back today. But I'm like, come on, fellas. We could get a stop hit. Because the
Oh
defense,
yeah.
like I said, was just two people killing us all day. We shut the running game down. We shut that
Yep.
running game down.
Yo,
Alvin Cook didn't get off on us.
he
It
had
was
40 yards.
yes. Two people killed us all day. Hawkinson and Jefferson.
Yo, Hawkinson Vidri had like 100. No, Hawkinson had 99 yards receiving and two
109.
touchdowns.
109 yards.
109
Two touchdowns.
and two touchdowns.
Yeah,
And
I know. I
then
was facing him in fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I won though.
and then
I won
JJ
though.
had 133.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and my third guy of the game, it would have to be Hodgins. Like it's funny. I put up a couple of videos on social media, and people were going back at me like, "Oh, you guys still lost and everything." I was like, "That's fine." Like the point of putting the video up is to show the potential that Hodgins has.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was on the Bills, when you think about it, that guy was a practice squad player on the Bills. The Bills had Cole Beasley, who they're probably missing right now. Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs. So he couldn't crack that, but that obviously didn't show that he wasn't like a bad player.
Mm-hmm.
So he's over here. He's 6'4". The guy's getting his opportunity. He's making the most of it. And 90 yards receiving yesterday. Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. Saturday. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So just people miss the point of it. You know, people are only going to see what they want to see.
They
They're not
always
going to
do.
understand that. Like, I'm showing this video to show you that this guy has potential. He had amazing diving catch. And I mean, for the most part, he won against Patrick Peterson all day.
All day. All day. All day.
All day. All day. Did you see that? Did you happen to see that highlight, Benji?
I did see a couple of them. I was speaking to the guys beforehand for those who are actually watching or catching up. I was at a family gathering on Saturday, so I didn't actually see the game. I was following along with GameCast, so I'm gonna be a little quiet today when it comes to reviewing everything. Like I do have my thoughts and stuff, especially on a certain receiver that doesn't play for us that should be playing for us right now, but apparently the Giants or Joe Shane didn't see reason to sign him, and he ended up in a Cowboys uniform.
Benji, please don't make me flip this computer. Don't let me flip this computer today. Please do not let me flip this computer.
I'm annoyed, bro.
I know.
I'm absolutely annoyed.
Me too. We'll wait till you get on it. Bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as far as like the catches and stuff that that Hodgins was making, he was looking good. He was looking actually like he went out there with a chip on his shoulder because he had kept hearing that the Giants don't have any playmakers at receiver. Mm-hmm. That seemed like a game that somebody has when they want to prove somebody wrong.
Yeah.
Just with like what he was doing out there. Now, granted, from what I had heard, Minnesota's pass defense had been a little suspect all year long. But I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to be like, you know what? That's the type of thing that we need to be doing against these suspect pass defenses. And I'm glad they showed up. I can't sit up there and, actually give you a full-on analysis of it because I didn't see anything. But that right there, and with just to roll back on something y'all had said before, that 2-point conversion, you want to talk about guts? That right there, that play that we ran, Daniel Jones had up there, the pass that he made to Bellinger, I legitimately almost lost my shit when I saw it because I'm like, bruh, Bellinger was on the back line. Legitimately on the back line. There was no room for error. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yo, he actually made this pass. Bellinger came down with it. I'm like, bro, this right here, and I'm just to get my little rant out of the way, the mere fact that we were able to come back, put ourselves in that position, shows me even more when it comes to the team and this current regime that's running us. That right there, more so than the Tennessee game at the beginning of the year, showed me that the tides are changing.
Yeah.
Because with Joe Judge, with Pat Shermer, with Ben McAdoo, us in that position, and honestly, to at the end of his career with Tom Coughlin, all of those drives, that last drive would have ended in some type of an interception.
Mm-hmm.
That would have ended in some type of a game changing fumble or something like that. We wouldn't even have been in position for that because the team, for whatever reason, just didn't know how to win.
Yeah.
This team is learning,
Yeah.
and they're going to turn that corner soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that just to piggyback off of what you said, that throw was it was just to watch DJ go through his reads, to watch him go through his reads, like watch go to 1 to 2, 3, whatever, like, and just to roll out to buy time because he had pressure and everything, and just to dump that ball like directly over the defender right in the belly's hands. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a beautiful thing to see. I was like, yo, like I when I saw that, I was like, this kid, he's getting it. Like, if he hasn't got it, like, he's developing. Finally seeing that progress. After that game, I was like, yo, sign me up. Through all the, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Is he going for it? Like, how long are you going to hire this? Like, have him on the team? Is he going to be, or give maybe a 1 year deal? Maybe draft a rookie quarterback or a veteran guy to come in. So if Daniel Jones isn't the guy, you can, after all that, like this season alone, this whole time I've been like, okay, okay, he's doing this. He's doing great. He's doing good. Like this was the game that to me was just like, this is my franchise quarterback. This is it. This is the guy going forward. I don't want anybody else. I don't think any quarterback in this draft coming up is better than Daniel Jones.
No.
Like for all the hate talk, for all the shit that we've put him through, like yo, give me Daniel Jones. That's my guy. And this past game really was like the eye opener for me. Like, no, this guy, he has it. I believe in this guy now. Like the throws he was making was those he was making was crazy. Like the two biggest things that killed us were those two turnovers and what we got in the third down, our inability to convert some third downs were the main two things that killed us. Jude, I know you saw the fumble from Daniel Bellinger. I know you saw that.
You said the what?
The fumble from Daniel Bellinger.
Oh yeah. Then it was not a turnover though, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the fumble. When was it number 33 that knocked the ball out?
Yeah, it was Brian Asamoah Jr.
Yeah. Did the fumble? Yeah. Oh, that stopped a promising drive.
Yes.
Actually, no. Actually, was that off a turnover?
No. No.
That
We had
wasn't that our first drive of the game?
No, it was not the first
no.
drive of the game.
Oh,
Nah,
okay.
nah. So Daniel Jones pretty much like rolled out to the right, and then you saw Belly dragged across the entire field. Daniel
Yeah.
Jones hit him in stride,
Yeah.
caught the ball, turned up field, had the ball in his left arm. Brian Asamoah comes over, jumps over, and punches him out.
Yeah.
He jumped
That was,
on this dude's back and with the right arm punched it out perfectly.
yeah.
The ball rolls towards the sideline and checks up into midair and doesn't go out of bounds. As soon as I saw it punch out, I was like, please go out of bounds. Please go out of bounds. And it rolled right by the sideline and stopped. And it checked up. Asamoah caught it on the go and just ran back on the sideline like 20 yards and got caught. Like it was one of those plays I was like, you cannot be serious. Like you can't you can't write it. Like if it was anybody else, if the ball's in his left arm and everything, anybody else, the ball, if it was punched out, it would roll out of bounds. But because it was us, it takes some funky bounce, it stays in bounds, and he just picks it up. I'm just like,
That actually gave him short field, right?
mm-hmm.
Short field because I believe we was like you said, was driving, man, and I
Yeah.
believe Danny Jones made a couple of completions before that.
Yeah.
that fumble happened. And I'm like, you cannot fumble right there. Oh,
No, because I want to say we were all around their 30-yard line,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and I believe he returned it to either midfield or a little past midfield, and it just ended like that was the theme of the whole game, though. The whole game, it just seemed like we would drive, 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 and we just couldn't. Like either we would get stopped on the third down, or we would turn the ball over. And it was just at the worst times. Daniel Jones again
Right, you're right. It
has a
was
great game.
actually.
Huh?
I'm looking at the play by play on the fumble. He made a couple of completions. All three completions was to Hodges. Then the fumble happened. The Daniel Jones scramble. Then the fumble happened. He made three completions. So no, we was on yep, we was on midfield when that happened. It was midfield when that
Like
happened, and he fumbled on a 30-yard line.
it,
We
it,
was
it
driving.
was yes, we were driving well. Like it was a nice drive we had.
That's why I'm saying that he hit Hodges like you said, Joe. Hodges was working Patrick Peterson. He was working him. Then that drive right there, I'm like, oh man, you can't.
Like he
But you
just
look at plays like that, and everybody will, you know, even though it's the receiver fault, Bellinger fault, not taking care of the ball, but like they'll look at like the quarterback, like it's the quarterback fault. Like no, like he's doing his job. Jones is doing his
mhm.
job. It won't look pretty at times. It is little slants there, drag routes there, and it's not the deep passes that everybody want to see, but he's keeping the drive going. He's keeping the drive going. Killing
Mhm.
clock, killing clock, keeping that offense that support. Well, they are dangerous offense. That offense on the sideline.
Yeah.
He was doing that on that drive, and that was a pivotal point in the game. I definitely forgot about that Bellinger fumble.
It was huge. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
He hit him perfectly in stride. And like I said, I wish I had the video, and I think going forward, I want to try to start downloading videos and showing them just like highlights of the game. But it was huge. He had this guy. He hit him in stride. Bellinger was running, and he just got like he punched it out. And then later on in the game again, Giants driving, looking really good. And then Daniel Jones throws that ball, and like I said, Patrick Peterson, Patrick Peterson just he sat in his hip pocket. Hodgins rounded the route off instead of just cutting it, and Peterson sat in his hip pocket. He baited Daniel Jones, and then he jumped it and ran back the other way with it. So it was just just fumble, not fumbles, but turnovers at the wrong time.
At,
Really comes.
yeah, and once again, I have the play-by-play up, and on that interception play, we started on our own 25-yard line. Like you said, good drives. We had good drives going. He connected with Hodges again for 17 yards. Then Ricky James for 14 yards on first down. Both plays was first down plays. Then hit Ricky James. Ricky James led us in receiving on this past weekend. But
Yeah,
he
90 yards, right?
yeah, 90 yards. Uh it was a couple of passes. All on that drive was passes, and it was completed passes to receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Then the interception on Minnesota 32-yard line. Right there. We was going in when that interception happened.
It was just I don't know. And then it's funny, and you bring up Richie James, and that drop Richie James had was like another one. Did you see that, Benji?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Oh my gosh! Like it was like what was it? I believe it was like a 35, 36, something like that. Hit him right in stride, right in the hands, and he tried to turn upfield before he secured it. Every week, Richie James does this. Every week we sit here and we're like, Richie James deserves a spot on his team. And I just still think he does. I still think he believes. I still believe that he could be a good 3 or 4 receiver for us. I really do.
Yeah.
But every week, it's like you can't. It's like it's like you jinx him. It's like you can't talk about him. You have to sit here and just watch Ricky James play. Because the moment he does something good, you're like, yo, Ricky James is all right. He
Mm-hmm.
sits here and he like fumbles the ball, and you're like, never mind, fire his ass. Like every week, every week. That
Mm-hmm.
that last drive where he fumbled, or he not fumbled, where he dropped that key third down was huge. Like
Yeah.
huge. I don't think people understand. Like I don't know if everybody watched the game, but like I know, obviously I know. I'm not talking about us, but I don't know if anybody else that's watching or whatever watched the game and to its entirety. But that was huge. That game that changed the entire game. If we go down, we score there, it changes the entire complexion of the game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it, it was just a killer. It was a killer. And like I said, like this game to me was just missed opportunities, and it hurts because like we were saying before we got on, every other thing that we needed to fall in line fell in line. Every other team that we needed to lose lost, and we just couldn't handle business. And to me, like I'm not gonna say the Vikings are pretenders, but I don't know if the Vikings fans are pretenders. I mean, Vikings fans. I don't know if the Vikings are pretenders or we're just like a actually very competitive team. I don't. I mean, I know we can fight. I know we have some fight in us this year, which I love. But like, do you think it's a credit to us, or do you think the Vikings just like aren't good? Do you think the Vikings are pretenders this year, or what?
All
Like,
right. Um, like I said, I think we what we did is we matched up really well with them, and we took
Mm-hmm.
advantage of that matchup. Um, I think Wink, for the most part, as far as what he went in there with, missing pieces from the defense and everything like that, to give up just 27, especially when you're talking about Fabian Moreau and Darnay Holmes and Cordell Flott and all these guys sitting up here actually going up against the guys like Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen to shut down Dalvin Cook and all that other stuff. We went in there with a game plan and we executed, especially coming off a shorter week than they were. So because they played last Saturday, they had the full week. We played on Sunday. So granted, one day, but it's still the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I don't want to take anything away from them. Like I said, I got my feelings on Kirk Cousins, but other than that, like that team is like to me, yeah, I see them the exact same way I see the Raiders. There's no reason why they shouldn't be better than what they are. But like I said, we just did a hell of a job on Saturday, right? And like you said at the beginning of the podcast, I hope we see it again in a couple of weeks.
June thoughts?
Hey, on my last show I just did it just an hour ago. I just say that I feel like they are the most fraud 11. Well, they're 12-3 now. Now 12-3 now after
Mm-hmm.
Saturday man, that I ever seen. Like, and a couple of people got on me about that, and I'm like, yo, it's just they don't scare you. Like when you look at the Eagles, you look at them like, yo, they have talent. Like they got talent everywhere. You better watch out. Or you look at San Fran, another team. You look at them, you like, oh man, they scary. They Minnesota for some reason. When I was watching that game on Saturday, I'm like, why they do not scare me? They got the best receiver in football, one of the best running backs in football, and I'm like, they do not scare. I feel like because their accident waiting to happen with Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins could give you the game at any minute. And that's why I feel about them. I feel about them. Like it was when we was down in that game. I'm like, yo, they're gonna give us the game some way or somehow. And it was a couple of plays, you know, that the game could have got away, but it just they didn't finish. They ain't go for the kill, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of team they are, man. I think they went for it on fourth. It was something that they did. They went for it on fourth down. We stopped them or something. But it was like they don't scare me. Like you said, like you said, I hope we do see them again. They do not scare me at all. They do not scare
No, not at all. It's like just to piggyback off what you said. Like their defense, their D line got after us. I will agree. I will say that
me.
much.
Hunter's a beast.
Evan Neal had a rough game. Like
Yeah,
he had a rough game.
Danielle
Like
Hunter's a beast.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Daniil tore into him. Like
Mm-hmm.
into Darius Smith, they
Yeah.
were having their way with Evan Neal. Benji, I'm happy you didn't see it because you would have been tearing into Evan Neal today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was
Well,
going back.
I understand that Evan Neal's a rookie. I'm not going to sit up here and kill him because I didn't kill Andrew Thomas when he was out there doing all that stuff. I know it's going to take
Yeah,
him a while to actually get it,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna be good. Yeah, he's gonna be good. He just going through those what rookie woes, as we call it right now.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
it was it was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Just he was going back to like he was blocking with like the chicken wing and everything. Like Zadarius Smith ran up like full up field and he was throwing like elbows and shoulder pads into him, and Zadarius was just spinning off him. It's just like, dude, like you just like I don't know. I was like, I get it, I get it. Like you're a rookie, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta take your lumps and everything. It's just when you watch it, and it's almost like not a every play thing, but like a damn near like twice a drive kind of thing. It's like, dude, like every time we drop back to pass, all eyes are on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm,
like to be honest, like we know Andrew Thomas is gonna hold it down, and you know, Mongo had a rough game, a rough go of it, but I'm not expecting that guy to even be back next year, let alone be the starting center. Um, the center, John Feliciano.
Oh my god.
I'm not expecting him to even be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, you got Glowinski. Glowinski who's sitting up here and he's a mixed bag. Another one is just like he'll have a good rep, then he'll have a horrible rep, then he'll have a great rep, then a
Mm-hmm.
terrible rep. I don't know which one got to him. Then you got the revolving door at left guard. So it's just again, I understand Evan Neal's is,
Joe, did I see Bredesen this week in there?
who
Bredesen.
he played.
He played. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Okay.
repped in.
No, I see Bredesen in there.
It's the second week in a row. It's a clear difference where they will have Gates at left guard and Mongo at center, and it'll look awful. And then you put Gates at center and Bredesen at left guard, and it looks 10 times better.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like in the fourth quarter. I'm like, is that Bredesen that guy? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm like,
And it's a clear noticeable difference. Like
mm-hmm.
it's clear like how good it looks. So a lot of people have been, I mean, Giants content, like other NFL execs and coaches and everything have been, and analysts have been like, stop this whole rotating door at the guard spot in the
Yeah.
center spot. Like, stop doing that. Like,
Dallas
put
starting to
Gates
do
back.
that too. A lot of teams are starting to do it. I don't know if they watching the Giants because we started doing that last year, but and Dallas doing it too now. I see because they got a bunch of linemen in there. They started rotating in there, so I'm not a fan of it. If you got a core in there, keep that core in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have your core five just gel together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't sit
Yeah.
here and just keep taking people out and mixing it around the little game because if they people don't have the same amount of like, time repping with each other, then they're not going to have that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely keep Bergson at the left spot, the left guard spot, and I would definitely put Gates in that center and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks reading about Izudu. Izudu, we're talking about it's a long term injury. They're not saying it's a career thing right now, which kind of scares me because I know we've all remembered David Wilson.
yep.
So that scares me. But they're saying it's a long term injury. I don't know. They don't know when he's going to be back. He's just out indefinitely.
Hey.
So that shit sucks. You never want to hear that, especially for a rookie.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Moving on. Like I said, I know we talked about the offensive line and everything. We talked about the O line play and everything. Again, outside of that big drop late in the game, I loved Richie James. I thought he did a phenomenal job yesterday. I can't ask for much more than him. Um, Other than that, I mean, you got other than like moving over the defensive side of the ball. I remember, funny. I was showing you Ben before we even started. And June, I didn't show you, but you watched the game. Did you happen to see that defensive holding call they called Cat Williams?
Oh, they did call. Yeah. And actually, it was funny. We thought it was the flag was going to be on Minnesota. Then they call it defensive. I'm like, what? And the announcer even said it like, oh, okay. Like, there was no holding right there. There was no holding that right there at all.
No,
Yeah, I was just these NFL refs, man, pivotal part of the game too when it happened. But I did see that. I'm like, what? Like, where the holding at? And when they show the replay, I'm like, oh man, I didn't. Definitely disagree with the call on that. Definitely disagree with the call.
it was just it was bad.
Yeah.
It's just like it was bad. Just to sit here and I showed you, Benji. I showed you that it was awful. I mean, you had it was basically just they double teamed. You had center guard double teamed, backside center guard double team, play side I want to say guard tackle I believe double team, and Cat shedded his block and got in the backfield and he tackled Dalvin. Dexter Lawrence ate up a double team. He stacked the guard and he shuttered it and he helped out finish the tackle. And then they called defensive holding on Cat Williams. On Cat Williams, like where is the defensive holding? Like where is it at? You sit here and first off, it was a run play. Second off, I understand they call defensive holding on like linemen when a guard tries to pull or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the D lineman holds him, but nobody was trying to pull. So I mean, again, you get into and it's funny we talked about this. You get into the whole last week situation where we had the no DPI call and everything on us to end the game against the Commanders, and now it seems like everybody's looking at this like, oh, this is the NFL getting you back because they let you skate last week.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
like oh, there was a lot of that could have been called. I gotta find the clip of it, but there's another clip, Benji, of again KT just getting mauled as usual.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that's every week though.
Hmm?
That's every week.
Yeah.
That's every
And
week,
I
and
just
he's going to be an absolute menace.
Aziz
I
had a good game. Aziz had a good. He had a sack, right? Aziz had a sack, I think.
I believe so, but like I was just ready to bring it up. It's funny you said that, but like so me and Benji, we did our toy drive on Friday, the Sports Mart
Mhm.
Dope Block toy drive on Friday, and we were doing actually like a little a mock draft on that Friday, and it was tough because we were doing a mock draft and we were looking at different names and everything. And I know at one point Benji had us on the clock, and one of the people that he had on the board at the time was Isaiah Foskey, the end edge from North Carolina, from Notre Dame,
Notre Dame.
Okay.
and we were saying with every other need that we have, linebacker, receiver, corner, interior, whatever, edge doesn't seem like the best, like a round one need. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, so I put this down because Aziz went out the rest of the game and he actually had to get carted off the field with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so we brought it up. I'm just like, yo, Aziz can't stay healthy, and the best ability is availability. If you
Yeah.
can't stay on the field, then you can't directly contribute. So now I look and I'll ask you Benji first, and I'll turn to you, June. But do you think again? I get it. We have Cat, who also got hurt in that game. But we got Cat, we got KT. I don't know what's going to happen with O'Shane Jimenez going forward. You don't even see Ellerson Smith on the field. Jahal Ward, I believe, is only on a 1 year deal. It might be on a 2 year deal. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Vinja, again, I'll open it up to you first. Do you now think that we need to move forward and address the edge position early on in free agency or the draft or whatever it may be?
I think we absolutely need depth there. I don't
Mhm.
think we need to be looking for somebody to come in and start, right? Because if, granted, again, this is us, me basically looking at it from the most optimistic position possible. Let's just say Aziz comes back and he's healthy all next year. And same thing for Thibodeau. Then you're talking about too much as far as you're talking about too much at the position, because then you're like, all right, now I got to get these guys playing time. I got to actually rotate this and take guys off of field and all kinds of other stuff. The way this defense is set up, we're not built for NASCAR like we were back in the day with Perry Fuel or back in the day with Spags with the four aces and all that other stuff. All right, we're not built for that. This is a blitzing defense. Our front four or whatever is just to eat up blocks for the most part. It's supposed to be for the back end actually coming up, making plays and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, it does absolutely need to be addressed. To be completely honest with you, I'm almost certain that Cat is going to get an extension this offseason. He's probably going to end up getting extended because they're going to have to do something to buy his cap number. Because if I remember correctly, he's sitting at about $21 million in, like, say, his cap hit. So I would assume that what they're probably going to do is extend and restructure. So you spread some of that money out over a longer period of time to open up some more space, lock down the middle of that line for the most part, and then you can start making workarounds and things like that. I would not necessarily look towards the draft. I would honestly look in free agency first to see if I can get somebody who is not necessarily an established like super vet that's going to come in here and just set the world on fire. I don't even think we need that. We had a guy like Hassan Reddick that was just sitting on the free agent market or whatever that we honestly could have picked up as well, but cap situation kind of sort of prevented us from doing so because we had other needs and things like that. A guy like that can come in here and just have a motor and just rip or just cause havoc in the backfield, it's perfect. Somebody could come in here to spell Kayvon. Somebody come in here to spell Aziz. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for an absolute, superstar starter unless this injury with him turns out to be something, or the injury patterns, I should say, turn out to be something a little more significant.
Yeah, I agree. June, what do you think?
I just feel like that that been a position we've been trying to like fill for the past years, and I think we finally hit it with Kayvon Thibodeau. Like you know, you mentioned Ojolari. I could keep going with Zimenez. Um, what's the guy that's playing for Atlanta now this year?
Nope.
Alonzo Carter.
Yeah.
Uh, we got a couple of guys that's still on the roster. Cam Brown, who's a more special team guy now. He was drafted to be one of those guys. Hopefully, he was in a late end of the draft, but probably could have filled that position. So I feel like it's something that we've been trying to look for that guy in the draft. And I agree with Bench, man. It's something that we probably need to look at free agency and get a veteran guy that could give us that punch, man, instead of keep drafting. Not saying don't draft that position at that position. Of course, if it's there and the best if it's a player, best available player right there, pick them up, of course. But I don't think it's one of the top needs.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go for in the draft. Mine's is receiver. I'm now. It's a receiver. Give me a stud receiver.
I hear
one
that. I
one
hear
thing I
that. I
did want to
think
bring up real quick with Joe before you actually went, my bad,
good.
is honestly salary down the line. Because say just off the top of our heads, all right. Say we were to take Foskey, or if we were to take BJ Ojolari, because that was the other name that I was looking at for the draft. Say we were to do that in 5 years, you're going to have to pay Kayvon and this dude.
Hmm.
That's not necessarily something I'd really be like really happy about having to do right this second. Because granted, like we had, Gettleman was nowhere near good when it came to managing the salary cap. He was absolutely terrible to the point we had to hire somebody else to actually do it, and he was horrible too.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't necessarily know right this second exactly how good Joe Shane would actually be managing a salary cap. There are other GMs and stuff around the leagues. Honestly, Philadelphia is off the top of my head, and I'm just like, good lord, how do they always have $90 million in cap space? Because they know how to manage their cap.
I mean, you
But
saw we took Brown from him.
yeah, but who knows if he was the one that was doing it? Like I said,
True.
we can figure that out going forward or whatever. But just from what we're looking at right now and how it is that we're maneuvering, I'm not necessarily super ready to go drop $100 million a piece on two ends, because that's
Makes
pretty
sense.
much what it's probably going to look like.
That makes sense. I agree with that. That much I agree. I mean, listen, we tried the whole JPP Olivier Vernon thing, and it didn't work out too well for us.
Mhm.
So that's very true. Um, Me personally, like I'm just looking at like our line and everything, and I'm like, when I really look at us and what we have on the D line, I know we were talking about. I hate my thing is the interior. The interior D line needs to be fixed. Like I understand you got Dex, I understand you have Cat. After that, we just have like nobody,
Yeah.
nobody, and it's crazy how our interior D line play has fallen off ever since we lost Nick Williams. And
Nick.
I've talked about this. Oh, he
I
was a dog in the middle,
like Nick.
and like it's like it was like he wasn't even like a household name. It wasn't like like everybody knows Nick Williams, but
Mm-hmm.
that dude the first couple weeks of the season was killing on the inside.
Yeah.
He was clogging up every hole, and it just showed. Like as soon as we lost him, we brought the dude Ellis in, and Ellis is terrible.
Uh-huh.
Like he can't get in and out of a gap or whatever fast enough. He's too big.
Yeah.
It's almost like having another Danny Shelton from last year.
Mhm.
And it's just like as much as I love Danny Shelton coming out the draft, like he did not fit what we needed to do. He couldn't move fast enough. So it's
Yeah.
like between him, I know we had the dude DJ Davidson we drafted this year who's out for season, so I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table next year. The edges I believe will be okay, but my only thing with them is like I don't know if Jahal Ward's on a 1 year deal or not. I believe he might be on a 1 year deal. I don't. If he's on a 2 year, I'm fine. If he's on a 1 year deal, then I'm a little scared because I'm like, I think we need to bring him back. He's not going to set the world on fire. He's not going to tear you up for 12 and a half sacks, but the guy is probably our best edge setter for runs.
Uh-huh.
You know who he reminds me of? You remember Chad Bratsky?
Yep.
Dude was just in on every single play, but never got any recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he reminds me of.
He's just like, I would take him back in a heartbeat. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about him, but I would move on from O'Shea Jimenez after this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He made some couple
I'm
of
not.
plays in the year when those guys was hurt early, but
Like the
yeah.
Packers game and stuff, he showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything from him like since. So, like, I would probably move on from him. I still Booker's out is on Ellerson Smith. Like, what's up with that guy?
Mhm.
Like, I like it just seems like we're healthy scratching a lot of people that weren't this current regime. You know, that's something that really gets me.
Yeah.
And then that's the front seven, then the front four. Then there's the linebacking unit. The linebacking unit, as much as I did like Jalen Smith, he's averaging, I want to say 9 to 10 tackles a game, but he's missing on too many plays for me. I wouldn't mind keeping him, but it's got to be not in a starting role. Like I'm okay keeping him as a depth reserve guy who can rotate in and out. I love Landon Collins coming back. I love Tony Jefferson. Both of them need to be back next season for sure.
Yeah, Landon made some plays on Saturday too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plays on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Landon Collins was sniffing out screens left and right
Yeah.
on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Left and right. And then he had
Four
that big pass
tackles,
break up to
four tackles,
hmm?
a sack, and a TFL, and a quarterback hit, and a pass
Oh
deflection.
yeah.
That was Landon
Oh yeah.
Collins' stat on this past week. Total, he had 4 tackles in total.
Uh, Landon Collins was balling on Saturday. He had himself a game. And Tony Jefferson played pretty well too. Like, and again, we've been talking about it the past couple of weeks now. Like, both of those guys are going to get more reps. You're probably going to see less of Jalen and probably less of Michael McFadden because Michael was getting killed on Saturday. And it speaks to why I've been saying since the beginning of the year, you can't just assume every 6th and 7th round pick is going to be some instant day one starter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand that like you like the kid, but he's not gonna come in and he's not a starter. He's not a day one starter material guy. Like he's gonna have to sit for a little bit. He's gonna have to learn the position. So I mean, like
I
the
like the
linebacker core.
yeah, and I like yeah. I like what they don't what we saw in the last couple of quarters with Landon Collins playing some of the linebacker position,
Right.
linebacker with Smith in there. So I would like to see that more. But like you said, I'm not a fan of the McFadden kid at all. I'm not a fan of him at all.
No, I just see Landon and Jalen. I'm okay with starting, and then you can rotate Tony in. That's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
But linebackers got to be addressed this offseason. Has to be addressed this offseason. Like you have too many people. Like you have again, as much as I love Cam Brown, he's a Penn State guy. I'm a Penn State guy. Much as you have him, and you have like a Carter Coughlin from Minnesota. Like these guys to me aren't going to ever see the field in a meaningful, impactful way outside of special teams. Like, and special teams is important because especially this year, because our special teams unit is terrible. But if half of your linebacking core is strictly special teamers, like it kind of defeats the purpose. Like,
Real
I
quick
don't
before
know.
you So real quick before you start to move on to anything else, yes, Jahad Ward is on a 1-year contract. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. However, free agency got some names for the edge position. I'm sitting up here looking at it right now. Like I know the first one I say y'all gonna like ain't no way in hell. But I'll read off a couple for you. JJ Watt.
Nope.
Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham, Yannick Ngakoue, Jadeveon Clowney, Matt Ioannidis. I'm not too familiar with Ashawn Robinson, but he is. Akeem Hicks is out there. Like there's a whole bunch of names or whatever out there. Like Justin Houston is coming out as a free agent again. I know he's a little on the older side, but
who's still making plays?
Yeah,
still making plays.
Like there are names out there. Like you don't have to sit up here and just like immediately go like, oh man, Azeez Ojulari, he went down with an ankle injury, or he got a broken toenail or something like that. We got to immediately drop a first round pick on the edge again. I don't want anybody to go jump to that. Right. So like there are names out there in free agency. And I know people are like, man, you got to build through the draft. Yeah, but free agency is there for a reason too, man. It's there for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you can have, because when you look at the edge unit, like Jahad Ward is the veteran of that unit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at it, him and Dexter Lawrence are the veterans of the D line.
I closed it.
Yeah.
And we don't have somebody that's just like a sack artist. We don't even have anybody like that. Like Azeez is in his second year, and KT's a rookie, and those guys are leading the unit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I mean, if you could bring in a 30-plus-year-old guy who's known to get after the quarterback and who can give you 9-10 sacks a season, who's going to be 30, 31, 32, but it's going to sit up here and lead those guys and make them the next, like I said, New York Sack Exchange, his Big Blue edition. Like the Jets fans still hate me over that, but it is what it is. Like, if you can sit up here and you can take those guys, like, why not? Why not get a guy like that? And if he's 30 plus and he sees that we're in a playoff position on a playoff push,
Why
Like
not?
he's gonna jump on and be like, these guys are pushing for a ring. They're in a decent position. They need a veteran leadership. He's gonna come cheaper. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Hell, Garrett, like, granted, I don't know how you would be looking at it from a money perspective, but just take J.J. Watt, for instance, right? He's out there in Arizona right now. Who knows what they're looking at the moment? They could be in the middle of getting ready to reset their roster again. Do you think he wants to sit up there and wait for that?
Uh,
Like, I
Probably
don't know
left
how much he would
Houston.
cost, but
Right. Watt. Watt's how I don't know how Watt old. I don't know how old Watt is. I'm about to say I don't know how Watt old is. I
nice.
don't know how old Watt is.
yeah.
That's all right. We'll find out in a second.
He's got to be anywhere from I want to say 32 to 35
He's
range.
33.
There you go.
Hmm.
33-year-old JJ Watt. When's his birthday?
Uh, it's actually coming up pretty soon because it says 33 and 287 days. Nice.
So he's turning
He's about to be
34.
34.
So a 34-year-old JJ Watt to lead your D line unit.
Currently, I'm looking at. You know what? I'm a little confused as to how this thing works. I'm guessing he has an out in his contract
Mm.
because it says that his unrestricted free agent. You know what? Never mind. Yeah, this is weird. How they have this thing set up. You
I
remember I
don't.
sent you that picture the other day where it said where it showed you like all of the Giants years or whatever that they had finished with a certain number of stuff or whatever and had 2022 on there twice. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with this one. It's got
Hmm.
2023 on there twice. 1 year is unrestricted free agent. Another one is saying he got a signing bonus on there somewhere. The only thing that I could think of is that there was like a club option or a player option, and he's already opted out.
Uh,
That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, the the Cardinals are probably going to be a team in flux soon. I'm not gonna lie, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than I'm not gonna say more than sure, but I think they're gonna move on from Cliff after the season.
I
Like,
think they're gonna move on from Kyler too.
nah, they
oof,
just gave him that big money.
oof.
They just can't. They just paid him. Man, hell no, they ain't moving on.
They'll figure it out.
Oh, that would be some crazy if they move on from Kyler and Cliff. My God.
Both of them guys came in together, right? They did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of, so just moving on from the defensive side of the ball, the only other thing I want to touch on is that I think Thomas McGee, he's got to be fired after this year. He's got to be done. He's got to be done. His special teams unit is falling apart every single week. And again, I don't. You didn't see it, Bidgie, but we gave up a blocked punt
Like,
last week.
punt.
I
Oh,
heard it. I saw it when it was on there.
The
Freaking
block.
blocked punt. A
I
blocked
was
punt.
honestly confused when I saw it because the way they made it seem was that the punt was blocked and that Julian Love recovered it and got the first down was the way that they actually made it seem. But what they were basically saying is that he had got because I want to say it was 4th and 4 that we were punting on. And they said he
Something like
fumbled
that.
and got 6 yards after that. So I'm like, that's first down. But they were talking 6 yards from where he recovered the ball. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. I honestly, at that point, I thought the game was over.
They blocked the punt and he picked it up and then he ran and he got tackled. I want to say like 2 or 3 yards short of the first down,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And we were holding them. We were holding them on our like 20-yard line or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they just threw it to Justin Jefferson because he had Moreau on him, and
Mhm.
Moreau was guarding him, and Moreau figured he had over the top coverage from Pinnock, and then like Kirk Cousins just threw a ball in there, and
Yeah.
Pinnock just sat back and just watched him catch
Watch.
it
Yeah. Right in front of him.
right in front of him. And then he didn't make the tackle either because he caught the ball short of the touchdown.
Beautiful.
So like Moreau had him. Moreau let him go. And Moreau was following him because Moreau was like, okay, I got underneath coverage. He said, I got underneath. Pinnock's got, over the top. Pinnock's heels are planted on the goal line. JJ caught the ball, I want to say on like the 3-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And then he caught the ball and then like Pinnock just like ran into Moreau and they just fell. And he just walked in the end zone. and then we let that drive. We went down the field and scored in 59 seconds.
Yeah.
It was a 4th and 2, and Saquon ripped off like a 26-yard touchdown run.
Mhm.
So I'm like, we were right there. It's just, and to me, like those are the plays. Those are the plays where if you have a Dory at underneath coverage and freaking Xavier McKinney on the over the top, that play ain't happening.
That actually, if that's the case, you probably would have been. I don't think McKinney would have been over the top on that. Would have been Julian Love. But either way, you got somebody that's honestly more qualified for the position to be over the top.
Yo, Pinnock is I'll give him, he's a good special teamer. That's what I'll put him at. You're a good depth player. Like when we had Sean Chandler for like 2 years, you're a good depth safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are not a starting caliber safety. At least not now. At least not now. So like I said, Thomas McGahee he just gotta go. The special teams unit has been bad.
Now the problem that we're gonna run into there, and like I said, this is me looking at it from the perspective that I've seen from other people, other media personalities and things like that, because somebody actually brought that up a couple of weeks ago. They was just like, well, if you have special teams players starting on your team, what do you think your special teams unit is made up of? So, like, to a point, I think that's going to kind of sort of buy him a little bit of time. But as far as I'm concerned, that little bit of time needs to be a little bit of time. He doesn't need 3 or 4 years to get his unit together. If it's not done and fixed by 2023, cut ties. Because it ain't going to get no better.
So you give him another year?
I don't think I'm not trying to give him another year, but I don't think that we're going to just cut ties with him because they're going to look at the situation and be like, all right, well, the entire roster needed to be, overhauled and things like that, which included the special teams unit.
Drew, what about you?
I believe giving the guy 2 years. I believe in giving him an extra year. And see, even though, like I said, have looked horrible, especially when your punter the week before missed the whole damn he missed the whole damn ball, right? In the Eagles
and he just dropped it.
He dropped the shit a couple of weeks ago. He dropped the shit in the Eagles game. I'm like, oh man. But like I said, man, we just probably give him another year and see how it looks after.
It's funny, like you mentioned that. So I was watching the I don't want to get we're almost done here, but I just wanted to get into I know Benji again, I know you didn't see the game, so I can't ask you too much, but Jude, I was gonna ask you about the play calling or offensive defense after this, but
yeah.
So the one thing that I noticed from this game is when we had our game against the Lions, I believe it was the Lions. Was that the Lions where Jamie Gillen dropped the punt?
Oh, Philly.
Or was it the Eagles game?
No, it was the Philly game.
Eagles game. Eagles game. Jamie Gillen dropped the punt, right? I was watching the Bengals Patriots game, and the Patriots punter dropped the punt, and he picked it up and he punted it, and there was no flag on the play.
The funny thing about it is, I know you're talking about that. Pat McAfee actually did the same thing himself. So I don't know exactly how the rule is actually described. If you actually have to regain like full possession of the ball, take a certain number of steps. I don't know what it is because the way it seemed like when Gillen dropped the ball, he dropped it and didn't still have like full possession of it and tried to kick it away. Like I don't know how that actually works. It seems stupid because it's just like, what's the point? You're kicking the ball in them anyway. But I don't know.
Like I just saw that during so I'm trying to remember when Gillen dropped it, he picked it back up, right? Or did he just kick it when it was on the ground?
He kicked it when it was on the ground.
All right, there you go.
He kicked it when it was on the ground.
Maybe that's what it was. Like I said, that makes sense.
He kicked it when it was on the ground.
Maybe that's what it was then. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sitting like, yo, I'm watching it. I'm like, the Patriots player dropped the ball. I think it's Polardi or something like that. He dropped it. He picked it back up, and then he kicked it. I'm like, so you could drop it, pick it up, and kick it, but if it bounces, you can't pick it up. I guess it's because it's like a fumble technically or something. I didn't understand why it wasn't a penalty. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if that's the case, then I guess it makes sense. But I don't know. Like it threw me off just to sit here and again watch that happen and just be like, I don't understand why it is that they called that on us but not on anybody else. So
Yeah, I'm watching it now. He kicked it while it was on the ground. That's what happened.
okay,
He missed it. Then yeah, he missed it and it fell. And he kicked it. Once it got back up, it bounced back up and he kicked it. So he dropped it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
okay. Oh my gosh,
I'm
you
watching.
can't, yo. Why are we such a stressful team to cheer for?
Oh,
Yo, we can't
It's only us.
like I can't complain because we got two Super Bowls in my lifetime, and
yeah.
some people won't get that.
Uh-uh.
But like, why can't we be like every other team? That's either we know we're gonna win this week or we know we're gonna lose.
Nah.
Like,
You know the funny thing about it is, especially considering like stuff like that, I'm up here thinking when we tied the score up, but when it got to that third and like 9 or third and 11 or whatever it was, I'm up here like a thought crossed my mind for a second. I'm like, you know what? Let me get this out of my head immediately because the first thing that popped in my head is we're gonna pull some Patriots bullshit.
Uh-uh. No.
oh my gosh, man, it's so stressful. Like, it's so stressful being a fan of us. It
Ugh,
kills me.
Herbert, you suck.
Oh my gosh, Julian, what do you think about the?
Oh, that's why you say Herbert sucks.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
I,
not even watching the game.
I know that's your guy, Joey. He's getting on my damn nerves.
No,
You talk about somebody that should have been a Giant.
I'm just watching to see what how we gonna look. You know.
I'll leave that alone, though. I won't talk about Justin Herbert. That should have been a future Giant.
It was not on him though. It was not on
No,
him though.
No,
no,
it wasn't on him, but still.
yeah, right.
First
Like,
of all,
no.
I hate. First of all, I hate his throwing motion.
You hit it what?
As I hate his throwing motion. First of
Oh,
all,
you hate his slow motion.
every time this dude cocked back, it looked like he about to break his elbow. I'm like, dude.
It looks like the grade school when you were taught to throw a football. Like
Mhm.
make a T, step with your foot, turn your shoulder. It just looks like the whole elementary school stuff. Like, can't believe he's not a Giant.
I don't know. I hate sidearm passers in general.
Seem like they always get him. They always draft him.
Drew, what did you think about the play call in this past game?
I had offensive wise, I have a problem. It was just defense. I felt like going into the in the late in the game, I think we just got soft a little bit. You know, with the blitz, he calmed down on the blitzing a little bit. They're playing back on these receivers, like just felt like a Wink just got too little soft, like playing low prevent defense at the end when you need to play aggressive a little bit. I know you don't want to get beat up top with the receivers that they have and Jefferson, Thielen, and what's the third receiver? They got Osborne.
Osborne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but come on, right there, especially I felt like we would have made that tackle early on that last play. That it would have been a tough field goal kick. They would have had actually would have had to decide probably to go throw a Hail Mary. It's just but it was plays before that. I felt like they're getting down the field too quick. Come on. Like it was just defensively more for me. Offense, see Danny Jones number. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem with the offense. I didn't have a problem with the offense at all.
Like I said, I don't think they didn't punt too much on Saturday, and we sustained a lot of drives.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I don't have too much problem with the play calling. Daniel was using his legs. Saquon was hitting the hole, and he. And the thing is, I really like that they were getting Daniel off of. He wasn't just sitting in that pocket. He was rolling out left, rolling out right.
Yeah.
He was extending plays, just like I think Benji said it, or just watching some replays. But I know you mentioned, I know you noticed it too, June, because I did. Just
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he would take those 2 or 3 steps to the left or 2 steps to the right, just to give himself some more time. Things he wouldn't do when he first started. He would sit in that pocket and sit there and try to throw it and just get stripped.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's like, I know Evan Neal's struggling. I know I can take a couple steps backwards to the left because I know Andrew Thomas has got me. I can move back a little bit this way, extend the play, give myself a little more time. I'm seeing the pass rush coming, but I have to deliver this ball. And he would stand in there and he would deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
He would take whatever hits, whatever. My main thing was defensively, we let Kirk Cousins off the hook. That's what killed us.
Yeah.
3 interceptions we left on that field.
Mm-hmm.
3 interceptions we left on that field. That's my biggest thing. Like,
Right. I did hear McLeod dropped another one.
Nick McLeod dropped another one, and it wasn't even contested. Just like the Commanders game, wasn't even contested. Commanders game, you can at least say there was a guy kind of on his back or whatever, or behind him, whatever, blah blah. This was like a back shoulder throw if you're a receiver. Kirk Cousins completely missed the guy. They threw it. He threw it right to McLeod. McLeod's going back shoulder like this, and the ball bounces right off his hands, and he drops it. Cordell Flott is sitting in the receiver's back pocket, jumps the route, and that was the game. That was the game. If he picks that off, we go. We're on. I think I want to say they're 40, maybe midfield, but we're not even on our side of the field yet. Flott picks that off. We go back the other way. We score again. We ice the game.
Yeah.
Flott dropped it, and even people will say like it wasn't a drop. People will say like the point of the ball touched the ground, but he controlled it. In today's NFL, you know they're going to try to take anything away.
Yeah.
So you have to. I see something happen in Monday night game. I'm going to ask you after.
Yeah, like, somebody got rocked.
I'm going back and forth. I ain't even watching.
Yo, Nick Foles. I'm sorry, Nick Foles just said they're running back up for failure.
Oh, Deion Jackson.
And then the last one was Fabian Moreau. Fabian Moreau sat here and he was guarding JJ again, and supposedly he spun JJ and he jumped it and he got a pick and ran the other way. And they said because he had his hand on JJ's hip.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yo, every corner does that every play though. Like every corner does that every play. Every corner has the hand on the receiver's hip. They wrap around the receiver's hip and they try to knock the ball down. So every play should be a PI if that's the case.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like I said, some receivers are going to get that, whereas others don't. You saw Richie James got suplexed in the middle of a route against Washington. Richie James isn't Justin Jefferson. Yeah. Justin Jefferson is going to get that call. That was a hell of an interception.
Word.
It just sucks because also everything just because again we were talking about before everything that we needed to happen and we just didn't capitalize. It just all that sucks, man. Like we needed the Seahawks to lose. Seahawks lost. We need the Lions to lose. That's why I wasn't even like, oh, whatever. Yeah, the Lions freaking lost to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Like where did that come from?
Yo, I don't know. These guys ripped off like 7 in a row. Then they got not even just lost. They got their asses kicked. Like it was like 34-17 or something like that. They got rolled by the Panthers.
Yeah, they did.
So like the 3 teams we needed to lose lost, and the Commanders they sat up here and lost 2. Everything we needed to happen happened, and we just couldn't take care of business.
Yep.
But the silver lining is next week
win
and we're in.
We literally just have to win one of our last 2 games. And what I was annoyed about on Saturday was the fact that Philadelphia decided that they wanted to start giving the ball away like it was Christmas gifts. instead of actually locking up the division and the number one seed on Saturday. So now guys have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas has an opportunity to actually overtake them. Like, granted, they still need Philly to lose out and they need to win out, which is highly improbable. But like, there's still a possibility there. And just for argument's sake, if Philadelphia loses next week, that absolutely means we have to take care of business next week.
They pay the Saints though. They should be the Saints. They should. They should.
The Seahawks, no, the Seattle, the Packers, and the Commanders, and the Lions. All four of those teams have 8 losses. The Seattle ends the season with the Jets and the Rams. So honestly, if that's the case, I'm cheering for the Jets because I don't think the Rams are beating Seattle. But in
Hey,
that case, I'm
considering
cheering
last
for the
night,
Jets. Right. And then you got the Packers in with the Vikings and the Lions, and I think either one of those teams can beat the Packers.
I think both of them will.
Yeah, I mean we all thought the Dolphins were going to beat the Packers yesterday. That didn't happen. Then you got the Commanders in the season with the Browns and the Cowboys, and I think the Commanders could probably beat the Browns, but I think the Commanders will probably lose to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then you got the Lions in the season with the Bears and the Packers. So if any of those teams lose, they're out. And so because they'll have 9 losses, all 4 of those teams have 8 losses. If any of them lose, they have 9 losses and they're out. They're not jumping us. So
yeah.
And again, I think like you said, even if the Packers win out, we still have the tiebreaker over the Packers.
Yeah,
right.
Packers,
the Packers would need us to lose out, and they would need to win out.
Yeah. I think they have the hardest road because they have the Vikings and the Lions. And I don't think they're going to beat either one. Like you said, I don't think they're going to beat either one of those teams.
Those games are at their places at Green Bay, though. Both games are at Green Bay, so that's the thing they have going on their side right now.
It
is at Green Bay, so
gonna have to be cheering for the the Vikings and the Lions that week, I guess. Like I said, like we're watching Monday Night Football. It just this is it. Like we're watching we're watching who we got to face next week.
Yeah.
No matter what else, we go in, we beat the Colts, we're in. We still control our own destiny, which is why my name is that tonight. We still control our own destiny.
That don't look good. Foles already two interceptions already.
Foles did?
Yeah, Foles already 2 interceptions.
That interception that me and Joan were just talking about, that was some serious shit, yo. My man went up, high pointed the ball, came down, looked like he was gonna come down out of bounds, but got his knee in.
That's why he one of the best safeties in the league, man. Darwin James Jr.
Florida State.
All right. Well, another week's in the books. Guys, thank you for watching. June, always a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, sir.
Same time next week?
Yeah. Does that mean
yeah, man.
Am I going to be home? Yeah, I'll be home next Monday. I got you. I was trying to think. I'm going out of state soon. I'll be home. I'm actually coming home Monday at like 6 o'clock. Okay. So I'll land at 6 to hopefully be on and ready by like 7:15. So y'all better be ready.
You'll be in by 8:30.
I'll be ready.
We'll see. Right.
Oh
man. Everybody, thanks for watching. Again, support, comment, share, subscribe to the YouTube page. Again, we're pushing for 100 subscribers on YouTube. Still shooting for that goal. That'd be great. We're sitting around at least 73 or 74 right now. So go subscribe to the YouTube page. Check us out, Facebook, Instagram. Check us out on TikTok for all your latest sports highlights, sports news, and information. As always, thank you for supporting. Enjoy the Monday Night Football. That's what we're going to do. Check us out tomorrow. Me and Paul will be back at it with our weekly pick'em show. Anything else before we get out of here? Because I got to go eat.
No, I got to eat too.
Me too.
Y'all enjoy your Monday nights. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Have fun. have a glass of wine. Go drink. Have some fun. And
Oh yeah, just
till
last
next week.
damn time of the
What?
year.
Huh?
Next Monday is going to be 2023. So for all those who are only here for the Giants shows, Happy New Year! Like,
Hey, oh yeah, June. You gonna be here for New Year? You gonna be around?
I should be around. Yes.
Oh, okay. What are you sipping on? You over here drinking? It look like orange juice,
Sangria.
but
Sangria.
oh.
I was drinking it all through the show. Throughout the show. Drake local.
I'm about to join you. Y'all have a good night. Check us out on YouTube for the latest and best. Good night, y'all.